Welcome back to the Robezoid channel. I'm your host Mark. Where is my logo drop? Where is it? Oh, there she is. Welcome to Taking a Test Drive. This Thursday, we're taking a test drive on the brand of Issey Miyake, and this one is one that I've owned since 2019. Never completed a video on it. I did a unboxing, but that doesn't really count. This one called Issey Miyake. It is a flanker, which is basically they add Yuzu to the name. So Issey Yuzu. So this is a flanker to the OG 90s classic Issey Miyake. Issey Miyake. I'm really excited about this. Why? Because Yuzu is what made Issey Miyake famous. Their Yuzu in their put-on line is to die for. It's outstanding. This one, of course, had a limited run as a summer limited edition flanker, which, of course, the brand of Issey Miyake is known for. They're actually one of the better designer brands that did this yearly summer release. There's a lot of brands that did that. You know, Calvin Klein, Jean-Paul Gaultier. Some did it and then just stopped doing it. But these are usually on the market for several months. They start in, you know, late winter, and then they go into spring, summer, and then in the fall they disappear depending on the sales. These limited edition Isseys can be home runs, and that is one thing that I love taking time with the brand of Issey Miyake, because you don't know what you're gonna get. They do flops, but they're very you know, you get a lot of solid releases from Issey Miyake. You get a flop here and there. They're not so often, actually. And then all of a sudden, just like the flops, you get home runs all of a sudden. So I love taking time with them. I love buying these limited edition ones that maybe nobody's talked about. This one has been discontinued since late 2014. So it's gonna hit its 10-year anniversary very shortly. And so it's gonna be hard to find, but is it worth digging into the crates? That's the thing, right? These type of videos are, you know, YouTubers are looking for money, they're looking for hits, they're looking for all kinds of stuff. No one's gonna be reviewing this. This is for people in their own personal collection, honestly. So let's find out what this one's all about. Now let's go under the hood. Let's take a look at some stats on this one. Release date was back in 2014, limited edition, discontinued. Nose, I couldn't find a nose for this particular release, but it was released with the Lotus edition for the women, which the pen was for Mr. Alberto Morillas. So he was the one that made that one. Morillas and Issey Miyake have a long-standing relationship for these summer flankers. So I'm gonna put a educated guess that Morillas is the nose. It feels very Morillas, to be quite honest. So that's my educated guess. Don't flame me in the comments if I'm wrong. I didn't find one. If you find the nose behind this somewhere on some website, congratulations, your digging is better than mine. Major notes to my nose. There's not many notes published for this particular fragrance. It has, of course, in the top, I would say the Yuzu, which is good news for all of us. In the mid, I would be safe to say that the ginger is your primary. Very good ginger. Ginger loves sticking itself to a citrus and make it brighter. It just does the trick, and you get that in here. And vetiver is the back end. So Yuzu, ginger, vetiver. Thin, watery, outstanding. Let's get into it. At the end of the day, this video shouldn't last long. It's a freshie. There shouldn't be much to discuss, but I've surprised myself before with very thin fragrances. And lo and behold, on the editing floor, I have a 30-minute video. Don't know how that happens. I love talking about fragrances, apparently. So let's get started. This is my scent of the day today. I'm not going to waste a spray, but I am going to spray the back of my hand here to remind me of the introduction. Star of the show, the introduction. Very good build, this fragrance, by the way. A lot of freshies don't have a back end. They don't have much to them. This has a build. And how important is that in a fragrance review for a freshie? Oh, it's important. There's not too much emphasis on the build and how long fragrances are going to last and how good they're going to last as freshies. Usually short time frame, and usually the wow factor is within minutes, and then you lose that, and then you get a standard backbone. This fragrance, so good. The Yuzu starts off Exactly how an Issey Miyake fragrance should start off. It's bright, it's fresh, it's icy. So, you know, you're thinking about citruses, you're thinking about ice cubes, you're thinking about cool factor. It's watery, it's green, it's yellow. There's your colors. It has some zing to it from the ginger. Absolutely three-dimensional citrus notes that parfait. It's beautiful. So the classic yuzu note from Issey Miyake, which many fresh scents from the brand have been dusted upon, comes here and just punches you in the face so hard. It's beautiful. Yuzu at its best combines tartness of grapefruit and sweetness from mandarin oranges. It's not a surprise when you look at the note breakdown of this particular scent and you actually see that mandarin is listed, as the yuzu does exactly what it's supposed to do here. It will show you exactly what I just said. You know, there's some tartness here. There is that sweetness of mandarin oranges. It has green nuances, hence the bottle, the color. And it also has floral qualities. Yuzu does have that, so it's your signature Issey Miyake yuzu. This yuzu smells icy at points, very cooling. And you can smell not only the citrus, you know, the inside of the citrus, the fruit we'll say, but also the peel. It's light, it's watery, it's green, it's tart, it's zesty, it's sweet. Not too sweet, by the way. You know, when you're all used to such sweet, fresh fragrances, this does not have that. Like, I would bear to say sweetness is a very low level sweetness in here. You're not even hardly going to see it. That's how authentic and great this is. It is fresh and does such a good job in this release. Perhaps one of the best in the game with this note, because it is very three-dimensional to my nose. They did an excellent job amping this note up in regards to the rest of the Issey Miyake house, which is right behind me. I've smelt a lot of yuzus in my life in regards to this brand as well, and they really did exactly what they wanted to do with the customer. I am a customer of Issey Miyake. When you launch this and you say yuzu on the bottle, my thought process goes that this should be amped up, and what they did is they delivered. That's exactly what I want. And they toned down other pieces of the original l'Odyssée, but at a rate that it's still there. It still has its skeleton, which I think keeps this fragrance from being only like a 2-hour performer to something much better. They just played with the volumes so well. That's basically what I'm saying here. They also utilize citron in this as well in this scent, and it really helps this whole citrus combo, this whole theme of citruses up top. The difference between lemon and citron is that citron gives off also a leafy green note, and that is definitely showing in this release. There's a lot of greens here personally. And then you start feeling some of the zesty ginger starting to peek through, some vetiver in the back end, slowly creeping into the background of this opening, but still remaining thin and fresh. And that is so important when you're developing a summer release, is that you have to keep that freshness alive and putting stuff in the backbone, but not overshadowing the citruses, and they did an excellent job here. This is exactly what us, the consumer, want from Issey Miyake. The citrus is authentic. It feels like you squeezed basically lemonade with some ginger, some leafy qualities here, and you got yourself a little summer drink. Yeah, that's basically what you're getting. The frosted glass, the green nuances is exactly what I'm getting from this opening. Now, once you get into the mid, you'd be like, oh, you lose the citruses. Oh no, my friends. Surprisingly, the citruses stay front and center. And this is what you want to see in a freshie. Keep going. Nothing worse than buying a freshie and the citruses fade within a few minutes. The ginger really helps that idea. It really clings on to citruses, and it does here in this mid. It boosts those citruses from the top. At this point, this smelled so familiar to me was kind of trying to put my finger on it. I was like, this smells like something I've smelled before. And you know me, I'm digging through my collection, my Rolodex in my mind, and I'm like, okay, maybe Issey Miyake did this before. No, Christian Dior. This smells like Dior Homme Sport 2008, the original. You know that ginger lemony thing that they have? It's over here somewhere. I still have my bottle. One of my favorite Dior Homme Sport releases, like the other ones that they released after that trash. This has that citrus ginger combo, just like that famed Sport release, which had a huge hype in our YouTube community back in the day. It's that good. Now that's just a small portion. Like there's obviously that really fresh, thin opening, which doesn't have that Dior Homme Sport. And then it goes into Dior Homme Sport section, a little bit of that. Then it moves on to more Issey Miyake-ness, which you start smelling, of course, that nutmeg. So you get a little bit of spice here from the OG, but the yuzu again stays primary. You get some watery green floral thing from the original, but truly stomped down to give the yuzu its shine. The woods, mainly vetiver and cedar, are in the back end, and they are very, very mild. So mild that it's hard to basically say that they have a big portion of this scent. The vetiver is slightly rooty kind, more airy than anything, so don't expect big earthy qualities here. No, it really never took a full spotlight in this release. It's just in the back end to give it some depth, we'll say. At this point, the yuzu is hanging on for its dear life, so we thought that this was going to happen, but I was highly impressed by the yuzu on how long that citrus could hang on in this release. I'll say it again, but I feel like the brand of Issey Miyake is one of the best citruses-based designer brands of all time. I really like their run with citrus-based fragrances. If you started plucking all the freshies from every brand and start looking at them one by one and see what's left, I think Issey Miyake would have a whole bunch. They can hit a whole bunch of home runs with their citruses, and this is one of those. Overall, this release smells very authentic. There's no heavy sweetness. There's no big bold notes in the back end that muffle the watery transparency here. It stays fresh throughout as much as they can. And one true way to rate a very good citrus fragrance for me is to test it in the high humidity. And I've done this before with a lot of my fragrances, and when I'm reviewing and doing a full review on something, which I haven't done in years, but when I did do those full-on reviews, that was a true test of a great citrus, a great freshie, even mint-based fragrances I used to put through the ringer, and this yuzu passed with flying colors. This thing is a gem in the high heat. Nothing cloying, nothing weird. It just kept pushing in the high heat, in the high humidity. That's what you want from your freshie. Now let's get into seasons, day, night, versatility, and performance. Seasons. You want to go straight up summer. Like you always, like as a fragrance reviewer, you're like, this is a summer staple. This is where it excels. And I would totally agree with you. However, I feel like the yuzu itself, with its floral qualities and the transparency in this release, I feel like this fragrance can go into spring. You can even throw this on during a warmer fall day, and I wouldn't hate you. This can be extended, unfortunately, obviously discontinued, so you're not going to waste sprays, but that's the thing. Day or night, I feel like it's more of a daytime scent. It doesn't have that punch for nights, but it would be great for a very warm summer night. You're in these tropical areas, things like that, you're going on a date. This just smells fresh and clean, and you don't want to go too crazy with the fragrance you're wearing. Why not this? Versatility high. There's nothing that stops you from wearing this, so I have to give it high versatility. You can wear this dressed up, dressed down, casual, just staying in, reading a book. It has that zen-like quality at the same time, because these Issey Miyakes almost kind of smell like green tea, like iced green tea sometimes, something like that. This has that personality to it. You can wear it on a date when it's hot out. The versatility is through the roof. Performance, and this is where freshies tend to die. That's their graveyard, is the performance issues. Longevity was really good with this one, 5 to 7 hours. And I know you're looking at those single digits and you're like, oh, No, that's actually pretty decent. And projections average, you know, this is not a beast, but so much better than the mint flanker that I just talked about from Issey Miyake. It almost doubled in performance, basically, which is exactly where I want a freshie to be. If you can do more than that, perfectly fine. But this is, you know, the big thing about this performance is the citruses kept going throughout those hours. It's not like I got citruses in the first 10 minutes and then it's just some musky thing. No, it actually kept pushing, stayed fresh. And the warmer my body got, the more those citruses, that ginger started coming back alive. So great release from the brand of Issey Miyake. Now my final thoughts is this fragrance, you know, Yuzu, is much leaner. It's thinner than the OG, you know, the Issey Miyake put on, which was the whole point. But it didn't sacrifice performance nor quality. I think the quality actually went up a little bit. And there's certain things in Issey Miyake put on that I like, and then some things I dislike, like every fragrance. And I feel like they toned down what I didn't like and amped up what I liked. And that's why I really like this. And the whole point was to emphasize the famous Yuzu note that Issey Miyake is known for, and they did it here. You know, only good things to say about this one, actually. Really solid release. It was a pleasant testing in the past several days with this one. My only issue with great freshies like this that I've split back in the day, so I got this split. This is not all use. But I got 50% of the bottle, and my 50% is starting to go down to more around 40 now. And with great freshies like this that I've split back in the day, my only issue now when I shoot these videos is kind of sad face, because my regret of actually splitting it. I should have just bought a full bottle of this, and I don't learn my lesson. I continue not to learn my lesson. But at the same time, at least I got to test this. And that was, I remember back in the day, I was kind of going, should I get the mint or this? It was a blind buy. It was 2019, right? And I'm pretty sure these were eBay purchases. They wouldn't ship to Canada, so I had to ship it to my splitter. Then I said, might as well. So at the end of the day, instead of getting just one full bottle, I got two, and I tested them both. So I think that's a win-win. But yeah, this is a solid release. Now, I'm done with this one. It goes into the vault, and going to be waiting for a full-fledged review if that's ever going to happen. But I'm done now with it. It's time for you to hit us up in the comments below. I know not a lot of people have tested this, but hey, if you got nothing else to share your favorite Issey Miyake flanker. That's a good comment. Maybe there's one that I don't own that I should be checking out, but I'd like to see that. So I look forward to reading your comments. If you have smelt this, please give your 2 cents. These are the type of fragrance that a fragrance head might be interested in, and there's not much on the internet on it. So any information is good information, even if it's against what I say. Be a subscriber of mine, because I don't care. You can say whatever you want. You can say performance is crap. Mark, the Yuzu's terrible in this. Go ahead. I don't need cosigns. I just want to continue to inform and help people, and I think this is for the people like me that kind of search out these type of fragrances. So at the end of the day, a greater pour Issey Miyake is going to make a lasting impression, depending on which one you choose. So choose your Issey Miyake flanker wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube.